as well as Q&A. Our members have some Q&A going, which is cool. And yeah, so me and the boys are down here right now and hanging out, doing the stream. Going to have a bunch of other people hopefully join us, so I might get interrupted between questions. And if you folks want to ask me some questions, you can, no problem. I like super chats. If you want your question answered, you're going to have to put in a $20 super chat to guarantee that your question's going to get moved up to the top. Otherwise, I'll take questions from the stream chat, and I'll also take questions from some of the gentlemen here, and I'll also be taking questions from our paid members. So yeah, just a Q&A stream, and hopefully we'll get to some random peeps. So yeah, hello Ninja Panda the Third. What an interesting name. Love it. Do it more. I mean, do you have like a memoji with like this panda and a ninja costume or something? I don't know. So yeah, cool. First question is how to determine the deadly sin and living virtue stack of one's type. Okay, well, you just have to look at cognitive origins, right? So cognitive origins, there's the 8 cognitive origins. Each of the cognitive origins are attached to one God function. And if you've not taken the time to actually look at what a God function is, there is a series here, a playlist that is available for God functions. You might want to check it out. Absolutely check it out. So God functions wise, watch the playlist, understand God functions, how they're attached to cognitive origins, and then you'll be able to understand the answer to this question, because you kind of need to know that. So every cognitive origin has a deadly sin and a living virtue attached to it. So cognitive origin of satisfaction has the, which is for ISFJ, ENTP, they have the deadly sin of envy, which is also known as bitterness. They also have the living virtue of kindness, right? Which is also, let's try to fix this here so it's like better on the lighting. So cognitive origin of satisfaction has the living virtue of kindness, and then on the other side of the heart temple you have modesty versus vainglory, which is attached to cognitive origin of reverence, because I'm being selfish and decided to talk about my own first, because why not? It is my show, I can do that. And then also we have cognitive origin of connection, also known as intimacy, right? And intimacy is all about, they're very jealous, they're very possessive. So possessiveness, that's very jealous. So if you know someone that's like very possessive, they're probably jealous. They're probably a soul Templar. You know, ESTPs and INFJs have that. They also have the cognitive, or the living virtue of gratitude, being grateful for what you have instead of being hyper possessive. So it's possessiveness versus gratitude. You can kind of see how they're like back and forth from that point of view. And then also you have deadly sin of wrath, living virtue of absolution, which is forgiveness. Wrath is also known as blame, and that is attached to the cognitive origin of justification, right? And that's for ISTJs and ENFPs, and then so on and so forth for the rest of them. Body temple is cognitive origin of purpose, deadly sin of greed, living virtue of, for ENTJs and ISFPs, living virtue of generosity, and then for the body temple crusaders, cognitive origin of exploration, which is the deadly sin of gluttony, and the living virtue of generativity. And then the mind temple, which is for the Templars, you have the deadly sin of pride, and then you have, which their cognitive origin of validation, because I always want their ideas validated by the people, their feelings validated by other people. And then the deadly sin of pride, and then their living virtue of so much to memorize all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to remember it all. But yeah, that's pretty cool that you can do that. But like humility is the living virtue, and then on the philosopher side, which is INFP and ESTJ, it's cognitive origin of authority, also known as power. and they have deadly sin of sloth and the living virtue of initiative, also known as leadership. Okay, so these are all of those things simultaneously. That's what they're for. That's what they do, right? So yeah, so based on that, like, how are you able to determine the stack of one's type? Well, here's the thing, like, if you actually know, like, where these are, you can eliminate down on the type grid and be like, hey, there are these 2 types. Great, okay, because, if you can identify cognitive origin, if you can identify deadly sin, living virtue, you have that right there. You know what I'm saying? You actually have that, and that's pretty cool to be able to do that. But you could play this elimination game and using the octagram to actually identify, eliminate on the type grid down to 2 types. That's pretty awesome to be able to do that. The thing is that, well, everyone has a primary, my satisfaction origin is primary, right? So which means my primary deadly sin is the deadly sin of envy. My secondary deadly sin is also from the reverence side because it's the rest of the heart temple, which means my secondary deadly sin is the vainglory, right? So how it would stack is that the primary one is, the one attached to your ego, and your secondary one is the one that's attached to your unconscious, right? And that's how you kind of determine the octagram. Now, if you want to actually learn about the entire octagram 3.0, if you want to learn about that, you can right now for free with my lecture on the octagram 3.0, which is available at ucha.app/pricing, which is like where we have our personality test. So udja.app/pricing. And we'll likely put it in the description. It already is in the description. Just click the Linktree link below in the description, go to the personality test, and then go to pricing from there. And then what you want is Precision Psychology membership. Sign up for a free trial, and you'll get that lecture for free. It's included in the How to Type Yourself lecture series. Pretty simple, okay? You can just go check that out. Guys, by the way, all you people that have just joined in, get your questions in right now. I'm answering questions. Make sure you get your questions in. I'll be happy to answer questions. So any Q&A that you guys have, go for it. If you want your question to be priority, super chat me, at least $20 or whatever, and I'll be happy to answer your question. So yeah. All right. Who is the cute guy with the flannel? That is Yuri. That is who that is. Hello, Yuri. All right, I got a question. Why do you recommend the bronze pair over the silver pair when it comes to compatible relationships? The reason why is because the bronze pair, also known as the natural pair, is the most sustainable relationship long term. It's one of the hardest relationships to get into, actually, because there's a lot of tests that people within the relationship put against each other. That's the test of the critic, for example, the test of the parents, right? And so they have these different tests that they put each other through, but if they pass all the tests, they're basically together forever, essentially. It's not a relationship that is easily broken. They will enable each other into the ground. I mean, if you see couples who are homeless, it's because they're a natural pair. This is why I recommend a bronze pair above a silver pair. Now, it's called the bronze pair because when you're just looking at compatibility alone, according to Cognitive Synchronicity, which is the playlist that we have on season 5 of this YouTube channel, at that point, you start to see how cognitive synchronicity works. If you're able to work out all of the compatibilities on paper, at that point, then you'd understand, okay, yeah, I can see how they're ranked between gold, silver, bronze, etc. But the bronze pair is the most statistically successful long-term relationship. So that's why. All right, so let's see here. All right. Are you going to talk about Phipps's new way of labeling types? No, not yet. Okay, no. All right, what is it like as an ENTP 7 using FI tricksters so often? I don't know, being a principled person, I guess, and exploring people's principles and trying them on like a mask, I guess, like a second skin. What is the purpose of a compliance relationship? I don't know, Death Knight Dan, what a compliance relationship is. That's kind of weird. Are you not typing famous people anymore? Yes, I am. I am doing it, and I'm going to hopefully be doing it starting tomorrow. Those streams are going to be coming regularly, actually. What's your opinion on the silver pair? I'm actually dealing with a silver pair right now with this relationship with this couple, and it's super difficult. to deal with, like really difficult. This silver pair that I'm dealing with, like I'm dealing with an INTP SDSF man with an INTJ SDUF woman, and like she basically like controls him, and it's really, really sad. And I'm trying to work with him to like build up his masculinity so that, you know, she's not constantly violating his boundaries and violating everyone else's boundaries consistently, which she does. She does violate, and you know, it's because like if you're SDUF and you're like an INTJ woman, you have histrionic personality disorder, basically. It just depends on what level of histrionic personality disorder you have. And histrionic personality disorder is basically related to attention-seeking behavior. Like that's what it is. It's just attention-seeking behavior, and it's like it's really difficult to deal with sometimes. I've actually had the opportunity to date a few INTJ SDUF women in my time, and like that histrionic personality disorder, that's a no-go for me. You know, and of course they're like hyper, like, you know, in my opinion, INTJ SDUF women are probably the most aesthetically pleasing of all the women out there. The thing is, though, is that it's that Paris Hilton look, I guess. You know, a lot of people are like, ew, Paris Hilton, how can you say the most aesthetically pleasing? But like, as an SI inferior, like, man, I can judge or at least perceive what is aesthetically pleasing better than most people, technically. So like, you can trust my point there. But the point is, it's like at the end of the day, you have to realize, you know, where that attention-seeking behavior, like you could spot an SDUF INTJ woman just by like how attention-seeking they are, especially with how they handle their aesthetic. You know, if they're like overdoing, if they're over the top, they're histrionic personality disorder. You got to be careful. Next question is, which types play survival video games the most? Definitely INTPs. It's all about cognitive origin of exploration. So when they're playing these video games, like they're trying their best to explore as much as possible. So you don't like the new type labels. Okay, well, I don't know much about the new type labels, okay? I will get to your guys' questions. I'll probably be like super behind, so I got a few questions I gotta get through here. Would a polygynous relationship with your golden pair and natural pair work? Absolutely it would. Absolutely, because those ladies would have very high camaraderie with one another and actually really like each other, could be best friends. Absolutely, that would work great. Yeah, okay. Cool. How frequently must an INTJ practice mental and physical skills and talents to prevent atrophy upon disuse? Constantly, daily practice. You practice 40 hours a day, according to my son, Isao, but basically, like, seriously, you have to understand that's what you gotta do. You have to practice daily. If you're not gonna practice daily, you're going to lose your skill. It's just that simple. So obviously you wanna have mastery in like one primary skill or maybe 2 or 3 skills, but like, honestly, if you're not practicing every day, you're gonna lose the skill. And you have to be committed with your SI demon to make sure that you have the time to actually practice your skill. That is absolutely critical. Critical to you as a person, critical to everything that you're doing. Make sure you do that, all right? Next question. How does the octagram impact typing someone's ego, right? So I think Quentin asked this question. So we kind of touched on that in the first question, but basically, I mean, especially, like, I recommend you actually watch the Cutting Edge podcast with me for July 2024 when it comes out. I actually just filmed it earlier today and I actually addressed the answer to this question exactly in that particular lecture. So watch that lecture this month, Quentin, and you'll have the answer, and it'll be way better than what I could actually put here. Folks, if you want to get in on that, get the Precision Psychology membership at ucha.app/pricing, or just click the link in our description, our link tree, go to Ucha, click pricing, get Precision Psychology, get the free trial with all the free stuff that comes with it, including how to type yourself the course for free. Get it now and get educated and learn how to type yourselves. Seriously, as much as you can. All right. And then the next question is, what does pulling gratitude look like? So this is an octagram question relating to push and pull energy, basically. So when you're doing push and pull, that's when you're pulling gratitude from other people, that means your gratitude living virtue is intrinsic, which means you're unconscious focused. And when you're intrinsic, unconscious focused, you're basically absorbing all of the gratitude in the room. essentially. And you're expecting every person to be grateful to you instead of you being grateful to others. That is what that looks like, okay? Next question is, what is the best advice you can give a subconscious developed ESTP? It's funny because I literally answered the same exact question earlier today with a client of mine, and the answer is quite simple. It's very simple. Leadership. Literally leadership. Leadership is the answer. And I would say that you need to read the book, The Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink. I think that is the absolute most important thing that you can do, right? Dichotomy of Leadership by Jocko Willink. As a subconscious developed ESTP, you need to read that book. Absolutely. That is my number one piece of advice that I would give a subconscious developed ESTP. Man or woman, it doesn't matter, because it teaches the concept of extreme ownership. And extreme ownership, honestly, that's intrinsic wrath. That is subconscious focus as an ESTP. ESTP men, though, they're typically subconscious developed unconscious focus. They're typically SDUF. And because they're typically SDUF, they oftentimes are very outwardly wrathful towards other people and blaming everyone else, and they make everyone else own it instead of they themselves having extreme ownership over things, which is a problem. It's a big problem. And in my opinion, it's not good. It's really not good. It's kind of annoying, to be fair. So with that, you got to watch out for that. So remember, intrinsic or polling gratitude is you are expecting everyone else to be grateful to you instead of you being grateful to no one. You got to reverse that. You have to have extreme ownership. You have to be willing to blame yourself first and then lead with gratitude to another person. Number one piece of advice I can give a subconscious developed ESTP: understand Jocko Willink's principle of extreme ownership as taught in his book, The Dichotomy of Leadership. It's absolutely critical. All right, let's check out some questions here. What do we got? Going up. Okay. Let's see. All right. Death Knight Dan says, what I mean by compliance relationships like ISFP, INFJ, or ESTP, ENTJ. I mean, they're good for work, but not for a sexual relationship. That sounds like an absolute disaster. Now, if you find yourself in a sexual relationship that way, one of you is likely mistyped. So, I mean, like, the most common, like, non-sexually compatible relationship that I know of is ESTP and ISFP, but that's not really going to last very long. Unless that SI critic with that woman has enough, if it's a woman, then it is possible. If she has enough history, basically, she could do that. Winter Girl is, how is INTJ's FI child naiveness different from that of the ISTP's NE trickster naiveness? They're not comparable. It's like you're trying to figure out if you're an INTJ or an ESTP. NE trickster is not aware of consequences. An FI child is all about what they value, what their mood is, and those kinds of things. That's what that is for. Seriously. Now, Miss Kia, still around. Are personality disorders in regards to observer functions in the works? Good question. Let me think about that for a second. I mean, Kia, I would make the argument that you do have narcissistic personality disorder, for sure. Or no, that's not true, actually. I would say borderline, actually. Because I maintain what your type is, being extrovert feeling, which is the parent function, which is a guidance function. So I guess technically, yeah, under your argument there, yeah, that would be correct. Under, specifically with you. So other people have to think about it a little bit more. How are you? I don't want to talk about that. Okay, let's see. Gabby says, hi Chase, what are the main differences between an INFP UDUF and an INFP SDUF? Thanks for the answer. Okay, one's despairing, one's in decay, and basically, if you're asking, since you sound like a woman, it would basically be your UCT. Feminine primary function, so UDUF for an INFP would be extroverted sensing, which is like attention-seeking behavior, basically. Extroverted sensing would be your feminine primary function, and then the SDUF INFP, that would be let's see here. Introvert intuition. That would be extroverted feeling, feminine primary function from the Nemesis perspective. When did you get into ego hacking and why? I started studying this when I was like 21. So, how can an INFJ woman seduce ESTJ man? Well, Sarah, all you have to do is actually go how to seduce an ESTJ. That video exists on this channel. Go watch that. You're in Washington State. I'm in Winlock, Washington. No, I'm actually in Idaho right now. So, yo, Chase, yo. Are pragmatics more into polygamy? I don't think so. I know a man who's affiliative, and he's a polygamist, so. All right, how can an ISFJ and ENTP siblings understand each other? Well, is it two boys? Is it two girls? Is it a girl and a boy? All of that matters. I can't exactly answer that question without knowing that additional information. Dovio, what does SE users find more attractive in people compared to SI users? SE users like modest aesthetics. They find that more attractive. We're talking about aesthetics here. I don't know. You have to give me context, to answer that question properly. And then SI users like SE users to be more flamboyant with their aesthetics, basically, or comforting. Doubted says, how can a male ISFJ SDSF help a female ISFP go from SDUF to SDSF, please? Basically help her earn the right to be gluttonous and earn the right to be greedy, essentially. Make her feel safe that she won't be without, basically. And then encourage her to continue to be generous, and then reward her for every time she is generous. I think that would be very good. And I'll reward her for also when she works hard and is generative, because already she's walking around with SI critic telling her how much she doesn't do and that she doesn't do enough. Strike says, how would a relationship between an ENFJ woman and SDSF and an ESTJ UDUF look like? Let's see, SDSF, ENFJ woman, that would be extrovert sensing, feminine primary, and an ESTJ UDUF man would be, that would be his trickster, NI-trickster would be his primary. This question's answered in how to seduce an ESTJ. Just search that and watch that. Do INTJs have a small bandwidth of information they could deal with at the same time? I think they aren't good at multitasking or keeping up with multiple people talking to them. Preach, they suck at it. They probably should do it. What are your thoughts on the benefactor relationship, INTP and INFJ, which is also popularly called the golden pair for some reason? I mean, it's not the golden pair and it's dog shit. So in comparison to a golden pair, so absolutely not. Wouldn't say that for sure. That's a problem. How can an INFJ woman seduce ESTJ man? Okay, again, how to seduce ESTJ. Go watch the video. It's on this channel. Go watch it. It's not hard. How can SI inferiors be less uncomfortable? They need external help from an SE user to make them less comfortable, and they have a really hard time making themselves comfortable. They can get there eventually if they shut everyone else out, but oftentimes they need help, and oftentimes they're taking on too many responsibilities and things that are going on from that perspective to be able to do that, right? Okay, so if you're pulling idolatry UD, does that always mean you're pushing objectification? Yes, Santana Banana. Basically what's going on there is that you're being reckless with other people, so that's important. Okay, woohoo, a super chat. Keep it above 20 bucks, folks, so I answer it, all right? How can an ISFJ and ENTP brothers understand each other and get along? Well, I think they should go to the Ego Hackers YouTube channel, go to season 2, watch both videos, understand their functions, and just realize that they're both trying to get the other person to listen to the other when they need to learn how to listen to each other. They need to learn how to listen first. I recommend both of them read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People to Improve Their Communication, and start there. That's what I would do, Death Knight Dan. So, okay. How would you maintain a golden relationship long term? Are there tests involved? There's similar tests for that, but they're easier to get in, but they're really hard to maintain. Just highest highs, lowest lows. Really, it just comes down to communication, and just don't give up. Literally, don't give up. Okay. Typical INTJ, SDSF, D&D for any fantasy thing, race and class. An Elven Ranger. Thoughts on ENFJ, ENTJ for a sexual relationship? Sounds absolutely terrible. Don't do it. How does manifestation and dreams look like for INFP and ESTJs? Is it associated with achieving goals? Yeah, it is associated with achieving goals. That's a good point. And helping other people achieve is the outward manifestation. Inward manifestation is where you like it when other people help you achieve. So yes, that is correct. Thank you, hello there, for adding that nice flavor to the shadow pole of the octagram. I think that's amazing. Okay, what's the optimal way to practice using the type grid as an ENFP? That is answered in the How to Type Yourself Masterclass, which means you would have to get the free trial of our Precision Psychology membership, which is available at ucha.app/pricing. And just get the free trial. udja.app/pricing. Go get it. Where do I find an ENFJ UDSF male? Probably where... Find out what they're interested in and go there. Or find out what you're interested in and go there yourself, and then they'll naturally be there. Okay, as an INTJ, I find extroverted women masculine. There goes my top 3 pairs. What about ENTJ and INFP? Jan, you can't have that point of view. Like, you're doing Effie trickster there. You should be open to extroverted women and not assume that they're masculine. Come on. That's not appropriate. The video about how to seduce an ESTJ wasn't very helpful because it's more about how to seductive as an ESTJ. You gotta watch the entire video now. Seriously, watch the entire video, not some of it, to get all the value out of it. Come on. All right, why do I have a horrible outlook on the 4 TJs? I mean, they're hard to deal with and they're very credulous and outsource their thinking to others and to an annoying chance. It's kind of annoying. That can happen. What kind of INFJ was Jesus Christ? I don't actually know. Hello, no thing. Hello. How do you give reverence? By respecting other people? It's literally just giving and showing respect. Okay? That's how you revere someone, is respect. All right, how can an INFJ, UDSF, and ENFP, SDSF help maintain their relationship? Understand the push and pull energy of the octagram, basically. That's all you got to do. Understand that, and then give them the thing that they want the most. It's not hard. And just do that over and over and over. Okay? What do you recommend for UDUF INFJ to move towards being SDSF? Practicing gratitude. Download a gratitude app and practice gratitude every day. Okay. What exactly an SDSF ESTJ woman add to an INFJ UDSF man's life? Peace, serenity. That's what she would add. How does SDUF types aim to be SDSF? Or is that a sustaining state of mind? Literally, they just have to inwardly earn their deadly sin while giving their living virtue to others. That's all they have to do. Does generosity for ENTJs and ISFPs should be in any face or format? For example, share my time and resources with others, but struggle to do so monetarily with my own belongings? No. Do not give if you're not capable of giving. Learn to give to yourself first, learn to put yourself first, and then give to others. Pay yourself first, okay? That's the rule. Pay yourself first. Need more likes in the video. We got 89 people, okay? If you want me to start smoking in front of you and wasting your time because you're wasting my time by not liking the video, maybe you should like it, okay? Otherwise, I'm just gonna start smoking and probably laugh at you people or something. I don't know. Don't do that. Need more likes. Come on. Could an ESTJ forget his crush from 10 years ago who's still his real love? No, men don't forget women that they love, and they especially don't forget their first love. That's just kind of how men are. Okay, so don't forget your first love as a man. I think that's actually stupid. Why would you forget it? To describe Naruto's versus Boruto's octagram, that would require me to actually watch Boruto, which I haven't. INFJs need ENFPs to help it become the tip of the spear for humanity. Can an INFP do the same thing for an INFJ to the same extent? No, not really, but they can have other ENFPs in their life to do it for them, so it's no big deal. Martial arts question for an INTJ. Okay, yeah, deciding which to join. Okay, just, you want to do a small, I'd rather do kickboxing, Brian, if I were you, but do Krav Maga because that's like the INTJ style. It was invented by an INTJ, so do that. Okay. Can UD ever become SD? Absolutely can. Just requires a head injury. Can UD become SD later on in life? Not that I know of. I've never seen it. Could happen. I don't know. How can an ISTP go or an ESTP go to UDUF? By expecting everyone else to be grateful to them, blaming everyone else for everything that they've done. Basically assuming that if it's not my fault, I don't have to take responsibility for it. That's something annoying as well. Does SUF work the same way as UDUF in regards to the levels by sacrificing functions? What is Levi Ackerman's type? INTJ. Vinny Chase background hanger. Okay, cool. How can an INTJ guarantee success? By comparing yourself to yourself and not other people and practicing your skills daily. Does SI Trickster and Demon are most risk of having short lifespans? No, not necessarily. I think SI Demon might be, but then also SI Inferiors, SE Demons have it really bad too. Okay. How would an SUF ENTP get back to SDSF? Hey Chase, what's good? What's good? Optimal bronze pair octagram for SDUF ISTJ. That would be a UDUF ESTP. That would be the optimal octagram for the bronze pair, Mr. Tape. Yeah. How can an SD, SF, ISFJ male do proper research? Time spent. How do I identify whether I'm an SD or UD INTP? Well, you need to watch the Octagram 3.0 lecture, which is available in our How to Type Yourself course, which you can get for free right now. Go to ucha.app/pricing and sign up for the free trial of the Precision Psychology membership, and you get gifted the course for free. And then you can do that, and then you don't have to worry about it anymore. Like, not at all. Dang, keep dropping this over and over. It's kind of annoying. All right, super chat. How do you know if you're ISFP, SDUF, and naive, or UDUF and subjugated? And this is after watching the Octagram 3.0 lecture. Well, how do you know if you're SD or UD? Basically, do you expect other people, and also do you work very hard to preserve your innocence, and you really like it when people preserve your innocence? And do you also really like it when people take you at your word? If you do, you're UD. If you're SD, you'd rather have, you really actually end up taking everyone else at their word, and you work to preserve everyone else's innocence, but don't really care so much about your own innocence. That is the SD way. So that should answer your question. As an INTJ man, what pairs would work well for polygyny? INTJ men, I don't recommend polygyny for INTJ men, actually, because they're usually just terrible at it, actually. I've never really actually seen an INTJ that's good at polygyny, so I actually haven't really seen an NTJ that's good at polygyny, so I usually just don't recommend it for them at all. So just really don't. What's the best approach to dealing with severe anxiety as an ENTP? Exposure therapy. That'll solve that problem. Do ESTJ men fail in love only one time? No, that's not true. All right. Let's see. Then rollover is looking clean. Thanks. Thank you, Bellsfire. Why do INTJs love me so much? I don't know. So Brian, do kickboxing, but you want to get into a striking thing. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I mean, it's okay, but it's not the best. Aikido would probably be more useful as well. Okay. How do I identify whether I'm an SD or UD INTP? Again, Octagram 3.0 video in the How to Type Yourself course. But basically, it's whether or not you like people gratifying you or whether or not you gratify other people. If you like people gratifying you, that is SD. If you're gratifying others, that is UD, essentially. That's just one clue that you can look at from there. Okay. What's the best way of getting over severe anxiety for an ISFJ? Learn how to take risks on your own without looping in other people with the risks that you're taking, and realize that you're actually strong enough to handle whatever consequences may come. Yeah, it is. Want to be on the show?
What is it about?
I interview people.
What is it about?
Oh, I do readings.
How so?
Oh, you know, expose your soul to the audience.
What are you doing?
Want to be on the show? No? All right. Maybe I'm bad at selling it. You know what I'm saying? Any new tips on finding INFJ women? Bars are a no? Of course they are no. Go to a farmer's market, basically. That's what you do. Just go on a farmer's market. You do it from there. Hello, ladies.
What is your show?
It's a show where I do readings.
Give me your. I know a butterfly knife when I see one.
Yeah. yeah. You gonna give it back?
Run with it.
Okay.
So how is like? Wow, that's kind of cool because like.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Like, here's how you do it. First basic move that you learn, you just hold it. So this is the safe handle, this is the bite handle, it's got the latch on it, direction of the blade. And then you just hold it right here because that's the center of gravity on the safe handle, and just let it drop like that. Then use it to twist it back so it's the other way, flip it up. And then let it down, flip it the other way, flip it up, right? And it's closed. And then flip it, and then it's open, right? Just do that. Pretty simple, okay? And then you just do that over and over and over again.
Unopened way.
Okay? The unopened way?
Unopened way.
That's the horizontal and vertical direction.
I want to do Well, I was right to his own fingers.
It happens. Show? They're waiting for you. They're asking for you to be on the show.
I don't care about this shit.
Okay. Enjoy yourselves.
Well,
Want to be on the show? Come on, free reading.
I'm not gonna
What is
cut.
a free reading?
I'm a psychic.
All right. Oh,
All right,
yeah,
well,
let's do
let's
that.
look in here.
All right. Put on the microphone.
All right.
Oh wait, I didn't know this. I thought I had it.
Too late. You're out.
Preach. All right, cool. We got peeps. 100 people. Are you cool with 100 people?
Sure.
All right, cool. Yeah. So tell the audience about yourself. Who you are, where you're from, all that. What do you do? Are you native around here? You're from around here?
Yeah, I'm Jordan. I'm from Spokane. 25.
Spokaneistan.
Spokane. Mm-hmm.
Most depressed city in the United States.
Is it really?
Actually, yeah.
No way.
No, actually.
No way.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm a veteran.
Yeah, what'd you do? What's your MOS?
I was in the Air Force, Social Security Forces for
Cool.
4 years.
Where you at, Skyfest?
What's that?
At Fairchild?
No, I was at Malmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls, Montana.
Cool.
Shitty as fuck.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Don't ever go there.
What
sorry.
inspired you to get in the military?
Free college.
Just that, huh?
Yeah.
What are you doing free college?
I just got my degree in psychology.
Really? That's fantastic. So are you a Freudian or a Jungian? I have to ask.
A what?
Are you a Freudian or a Jungian? Sigmund Freud or Carl Jung? Which one
I
do
was
you
like, what are you talking about? I'm hammered. I'm a Freud girl.
You're a Freud girl, huh? All right. So, like, what is your dissertation on?
I mean, he was just about like all the good shit.
Like what? Any specific examples you'd like to share? Because they're
You're
always.
really putting me on the spot.
That's what I'm here for, yeah.
Fuck. No.
Free college, you get all those achievements, right? You know, what else are you trying to achieve?
I'm going to Bali to be a yoga teacher.
And a yoga teacher, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like at the Croc or something, or just doing contract?
I just want to be like a no. I just want to do like online yoga.
Online yoga?
Yeah.
Okay.
Be a yoga teacher.
That's a thing.
Yeah. You can do like YouTube and do like yoga and teach like you can specialize. So if you want to do like I want to do trauma-based yoga.
Trauma-based
women
yoga? What's
like,
that a thing?
It's essentially where a lot of women have been through a lot of traumatic things in their life and they have a hard time like being in their bodies. So they have like can have a hard time, you know, having sensations when they have like sex, or let's say a lot of them just don't know how they're feeling, so they feel like dissociated a lot of times. So when you get into yoga can actually get back into your body, because a lot of times you're forced to like hold a position that can feel uncomfortable, but you have to be forced to like be in the sensations of your body.
Fair enough.
So
increasing one's own personal sensitivity to their own body, huh?
exactly.
Yeah, nice. Sounds SI demon. All right, cool. Let's do the reading then, huh?
Okay.
All right, so you're Jordan, right? You're 25, right? All right, so this woman is all about what she wants, to the point where she's not going to do anything unless she knows exactly that she is going to be able to get it, and she's going to plot her course and figure out what it is. She kind of acts like a sniper rifle that way, because she's going straight down and narrow, and she's going to absolutely go for what she wants no matter what. She's very rational, though, all about her status and her reputation, knowing what everyone is thinking about her all the time, all about what she values, makes decisions based on her mood, even though sometimes she doesn't really want people to know that that's how she makes decisions sometimes, because she's got to weigh everything out all the time. Everything's all weighed. It's not much logic. It's actually more about, let's look at what the data says. I need to gather all the data and weigh out the data before I make a decision. And here's the thing, you know, before I make a decision or have an idea, I got to ask everyone else what they think about it first. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's all about trying to be that top performer all the time, you know, because she is afraid of people not sticking around for her, so she goes out of her way to try to give people a memorable experience, be as memorable as possible, so people stick around for her.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because she is afraid of abandonment and worried that she's going to get betrayed by other people, so that's why she's paranoid. Has some struggles with paranoia, good times. Because worried that she's not going to be wanted anymore. And therefore, she has to be really careful, especially about what man she chooses, because she spends way too much time trying to figure out who she should be choosing all the time, because she knows as soon as she's attached, she can't let go. And she can never let go, ever.
I'm so called out.
Yeah. And then you're very critical towards your own thinking and what you know. Oftentimes that you tell yourself that you're stupid on a regular basis, and you have to constantly be researching and getting the data to verify that it matches what you think, so you're not walking around feeling like you're stupid. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And then also, one of your weaknesses is that you're hyper aware of social norms and also unaware of social norms at the same time, to the point where you actually are entirely and utterly socially awkward on a regular basis. And you have to work very hard to increase your social skills. But this can lead to agoraphobia, because you don't want to go out all the time, because then you have to perform around other people, and it really stresses the fuck out.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why you can't find Mr. Right, because you never fucking go out. And then you're stuck. And then you just get older and older and older, and you're going to end up like a statistic, because by 2030, over 50% of women will be alone. And statistically, actually, you're the kind of woman that is most likely to be alone and be a cat mom, actually.
How so?
Well, because ladies like you oftentimes buy into the societal bullshit and enter into a masculine role instead of a feminine role, which actually ends up reducing your value over time, sadly.
I'm working on that.
And the worst
The
worst thing about her is her penchant for bitterness and revenge, you know, always got to get back the people that fucked her over, even though she may not actively want to, but if she sees the opportunity, she'll actually go for it, absolutely, when the time comes. Also, she's got, you know, sleeping problems. I don't want to go to bed right now. I can just keep going. I can keep pushing through. And then because of that, she has some sleeping problems. And because of her sleeping problems, her circadian rhythm is actually entirely fucked most of the time, and is actually increasing her aging without her even realizing it, because she needs somebody else's body clock in the house, because she don't have a fucking body clock. She has to rely on the body clock of someone else in order for her to actually get some fucking sleep. Because she'll stay up, you know, oh, she's got a man in the house, whatever. She ain't gonna go to sleep until he goes to sleep, because she can't feel comfortable unless somebody else is comfortable first. So like, oh, he's starting to go to bed? Okay, I'll go to bed too.
Bits and pieces.
Indeed.
I don't sleep,
indeed.
so.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the reading. We can go deeper.
Beautiful.
Yeah. The thing that she cares about the most in life is reverence. She wants to be respected all the time. Have that satisfaction. Got to have that reverence no matter what. Deadly sin of vainglory. That's why you can be a little vain sometimes. However, you know, since you're like the female version of the Buddha, which I recommend Buddhism if you want to actually invest in a spiritual belief system, for you would actually do that. Your living virtue is modesty, where you have to learn the ultimate skill of how to do more with less, how to accomplish a lot with very little. That's the ultimate skill, and only you can actually master that skill,
I love
which
that.
is pretty bitchin'. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Then your
that.
secondary deadly sin is envy, which is bitterness. But you can be really kind and compassionate to others, hence why you're doing this little yoga thing in the process. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. So you are what we call the ranger, also known as the INTJ, because I'm not actually a psychic, I'm a psychologist.
Okay. What is a ranger?
That introvert, intuitive thinking, judging. It's like an MBTI personality type, except we've gone way deeper than they ever could. And if you were to look it up, you'd get bullshit information. So you should probably just read my shit instead, because it's accurate.
Okay. All right. I love that. I think it was pretty much, I would say that's pretty accurate, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. You folks get quite paranoid, though, when you realize just how easy it is to read you, and then you all run away.
The thing is, I know all these things. I just can't
Apply them, yeah, because you don't know
them.
where to start.
I'm stuck because I'm in that like freeze state of mind, and I've been in that.
Well,
for a while,
I mean,
so I can't
people
really
like you procrastinate
move
way
forward.
too much. You all procrastinate.
But I'm also the anxious type where I like punish myself for procrastinating, and then I can't move forward.
Well, sure. But, I mean,
In that state currently.
it's what we call unconscious developed, subconscious focused. So you originally joined the military because you were unconscious developed, unconscious focused as a result of despair, because you likely had a really terrible upbringing, and then you got into adulthood and you're like, this absolutely fucking sucks. So you join the military, go through that entire process, you come out with it while you were despairing, you come out with it with having some hope for yourself as a result, which is why you're able to actually be kind. Whereas before, you're actually absorbing all of the kindness in the room, actually, and then instead blaming other people. Because you have this perspective of, well, if it's not my fault, it's not my responsibility. But then you grew up and realized, well, just because it's not my fault does not mean it's not my responsibility. Maybe I should actually do it.
Yep.
You know, so it's just, that's normal.
What about now though? What's next?
What's next?
What do you see? You just gotta tell me what you see. Come on, give me something. I need it.
Fair enough.
Come on.
Well, your ideal man, I could describe him to you.
Okay.
Yeah. He's all about what you want and giving you choices all the time. However, he is all about what he thinks. And he would just prefer you to listen to him, and he'll just make all of those decisions anyway. And he actually has like logic and is brilliant
that.
compared to everyone else.
Yep.
He's all about how you feel and is constantly working hard to take care of your feelings on a regular basis, to the point where you no longer have to feel unsafe with sharing your feelings, because women like you have a hard time of opening your heart
Hold on one
because
second.
We're going.
One
We
second,
gotta go.
baby.
No. You gotta go.
He's telling me my ideal man. Come on.
Who's your ideal man?
Doesn't matter.
He's describing him.
Okay.
So he's trying to tell me let's go.
Okay, let's hear it then.
Can you just
he
describe
does
it?
look like one for sure.
Really?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Although, like, don't be afraid of being uncomfortable and don't be afraid of being weak all the time. And then she's consistently trying to make you as comfortable as possible because she's actually afraid of losing you.
I've never been afraid of being uncomfortable.
Love that. Okay.
Let's go.
Thank you.
I'll need that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy yourself.
Appreciate it. Violet!
First today, yeah. All right, let's get back to the questions, folks.
Okay,
Let's
okay.
get to the freaking show. Come on,
Yeah.
I want the show. Where's your questions?
Oh.
Come on. What
I'll,
city is this? This is
slowly
Coeur
fade into the
d'Alene,
background.
Idaho. Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yep.
Yeah. If you find any more takers for me to torture, I'll be happy to. More questions, come on. All right. Santana Banana is here. Does being reckless with others mean you're holding them to a lower standard of judgment? Kind of like spending all of your forgiveness on others as opposed to yourself, or it's a little different? No, you're being reckless with other people because you work very hard to become the most ideal version of yourself, actually, with intrinsic idealism or idealization. And that's what you're trying to do, right? Intrinsic idealization, right? So with that in mind, you have the opportunity to become your better self, but in the process, it's like, hey, if I'm working hard to be better, then you should be doing the same too, and it creates recklessness towards other people. and you like to see other people getting, well, a little punished, you know what I'm saying? So how do you properly mate guard? That question is answered in the Ego Hacking Love course for practical psychology members. You have to check that out. Do you have any YouTube videos about physical appearances of the types? Not yet, Anna. It is coming, but I need, basically, I need help from some people in my life to that end. However, the best expert that I know of it in the Ego Hacker community is Jolly. She's a member of the women's group in the Ego Hacker Discord. So go to Ego Hackers or discord.gg/Ego Hackers for that. You know, is it normal for INTPs to have horrible sleep patterns? Yeah, it can, because they're being hella gluttonous and spending too much time on World of Warcraft. So yeah. Okay. Don't mate guard. It shows insecurity. True. How can I become more entrepreneurial as an SDUF INTP man, right? Okay. SDUF INTP man with, let's see here. Introverted intuition, masculine primary. Do what you want. Read a lot of books. Utilize your extroverted thinking nemesis properly. Read a lot of books. So read the Entrepreneurship 16 at csjoseph.life/reading. All right, what is the Hak Twa girl type? That's a question. She's Mind Temple. I'm gonna go with ISTP. Actually, there's a chance she's ESTJ, but I'm gonna go with ISTP. Mate guarding is only okay if your girl's in danger. If Elf Ranger is the typical INTJ character in D&D, what character should they aspire to be? Buddhist theme, monk, dwarf, or for modesty? Yeah, a monk would be good. Ask for cluster B. How should an INTP dress if they want people to know what they are? If I could just wear some gym clothes for all I care about, it might be good to signal to people and screen them out. I don't know. It's a really subjective question. Talk to Jolly about it. Is super ego pair a sustainable relationship? In my opinion, no. It's more likely sustainable in a polygynous situation, but not in a monogamous situation, for sure. I would say that. How can I help a UDSF ISTJ become self above tribe? That is a very good question, BM Christie. That's a really good question. You always have great questions. UDSF, masculine primaries, introverted sensing, self above tribe. Yeah, because they're hella affiliative with that SI hero, which means their negligent function is extrovert intuition inferior. That too is a problem. Extrovert intuition inferior, that would be rough. So he would basically have to have help, and told his duty is to make himself as desirable as possible, and basically do that and find every way possible to make him more desirable. Okay, what was the octagram of the ENTP that was mate guarding? He is UDUF, actually. All right, how can I be 100% certain of my type? Take the UCHA test with other people, or get the How to Type Yourself course, which is available for free at udja.app, ucha.app. Go to there, go to pricing, go to Precision Psychology, click on free trial, and then get the free course. Okay, all right. Am I an unhealthy INFP if I hate FJ, FE types so much? No, you're probably just dealing with some trauma. Would an INFJ fare well in politics as a politician or political leader? Yes. How can an SE inferior male deal with being ghosted after being told by a female that she loves him and will miss him as she flew away back to her home country? By talking to other women. You should always have other options. Women do, and you should have more options than women anyway. So like, stop focusing on one woman at a time. It's really hard for NI hero men to do. Almost like, same thing with NI child men to do. And NI parent, like, seriously. But otherwise, you have to be talking to multiple women simultaneously. Always have backup plans with girls. That's just the reality. How would a UDUF INFP male and SDSF ESTP female relationship look like? Rough, doable, but rough. However, over time, they could learn to grow with one another as long as they don't give up. So it can work. I find revising study material very hard. ENTP, do you have any advice? Well, it's not something you could explore, so you're probably gonna get sick of it. How to make ESTJ parent. All right, cool. I think that is it for today. We just hit our 1 hour mark. So, all right, folks, thank you all for watching and listening and enjoying our first, is that our first INTJ typing random people? That might be. So, which is pretty awesome. Love it. So, all right, folks, I'll see you guys next time on Q&A, and we'll watch out for typing famous people to be released in public, and our typing challenge, which is going to be made available to our Precision and Practical Psychology members. So more on that, go to ucha.app/pricing. Later, folks. Good night.